Okay, so in this video I thought we'd do something slightly different. Instead of going through the reasons, I'm going to go through what we're doing. I want to give you a clear update on where Truth Matters UK is, what I've been doing behind the scenes, and where this is all going. If you've been following along or considering getting involved, this is the best way to see the plan laid out. So the core of it all is this strategy. It has two proven phases, which is build and then act. In the build phase, the goal is to create awareness, build trust, and expand our reach. In order to build, we need to do three things. So we need to raise our awareness, we need to gain people's trust, and we need to reach new members. And we need to give people a reason to believe that this movement is worth paying attention to. Once that foundation's strong, we move into act. That's where we push for accountability. That means demanding truth, demanding transparency from politicians and media, and ultimately creating a pressure for change. And just to be clear, this isn't about left or right. Truth Matters UK is completely non-partisan. The goal is to unite people across the political spectrum. Truth has to come before tribe, ultimately. So here's how I'm approaching the early growth of Truth Matters UK. I'm going to focus on where people are most likely to engage right now, and that is largely on the left. Now, once again, to reiterate, it is not about favouring one side politically. This is simply a strategic decision. People on the left are likely or currently more active in calling out misinformation, media bias, and political dishonesty. So that makes them the low-hanging fruit for me. As the movement builds, the goal is always to reach across the political spectrum, and that's baked into everything that we do. But to grow something meaningful, I need to start where the doors are already open, or at the very least half ajar. Now, does that mean that I'm going to ignore anybody on the right-hand side of politics coming to get behind this? Absolutely not. And if there is an opportunity I see anywhere as I move along, to engage with the people on the right, then I will be absolutely doing that. Now let me show you what this actually looks like in action, kind of the structure behind the strategy. I'm focusing on three core areas, or I like to think of it as like a three-pronged attack. Firstly, allied organisations. So these are groups that are already working to defend truth, fairness, and democratic accountability. So they've already identified that this is an issue, and they're actively pursuing this. So people from Full Fact, who do a fantastic job of being non-partisan and calling out the facts or fact-checking as they go along. Also the Good Law Project, to BCS and Compass. Some are already engaged, some are on the radar. The next prong is we've got academia. So I'm keeping my eye out for events and institutions are starting to seriously grapple with the disinformation crisis, and I'm keeping my eye out for these events. So I've seen them being advertised from the Royal Society. Cambridge have got a disinformation summit on. LSE have got a festival on the future of truth. And my goal is to make Truth Matters UK visible to these organisations and these talks, and push for practical collaboration with them. And then my third prong is essentially the public outreach prong. So this tends to be YouTube. That's where I'm putting all my eggs at the minute for this one. So I'm basically doing things like commenting on campaigns. I'm producing video contents like this one. And I'm also going to try to get direct engagement with already aligned influencers and content creators to help bring these people in. So the key on this one really is to try and meet people where they are. And increasingly, and kind of sadly in many ways, increasingly people are online. So that's where I'm focusing my time for this public outreach section. And this is where we are right now. I'm actually quite proud of this, considering how long I've been going, or Truth Matters UK has been going. I've managed to achieve quite a lot, I think, in a short space of time. It's certainly given me a bit more impetus to push this forward. So the organisations that I put on the board, or that you can see in front of you now, fall into three categories. So in green, we have Unlock Democracy. So these are already fully on board now. So they're behind, they're aligned with what the mission is, and they are supportive. In fact, I really want to talk about Unlock Democracy. Actually, they were fairly new to me, so they've actually been incredibly supportive. Tom Brake, I've been speaking to there, so not just in words but in action as well. If you don't already know them, they're doing fantastic work pushing for political transparency, defending the foundations of democracy. And one area that they've led on is protecting and expanding freedom of information laws, and that is absolutely essential for exposing government wrongdoing and basically keeping power in check and democracy in the right place. They have also very kindly invited me to write a guest blog for them, which I shall be putting together as soon as I get a bit more time. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. This really does have the ability to help raise awareness of this campaign and reach their wider audience. They've got over 3,000 members. They're well established and a well recognised group. So it's exactly the kind of collaboration we need to grow the movement. So I'm dead chuffed that we've teamed up with those. And on a side note, if you're looking for another organisation to support that aligns with our mission, I highly recommend you checking them out. They've proven they get it, they're willing to fight for it, and they have a track record of winning as well. So please go and check them out, sign up to their mail shots, etc. Okay, the orange speech bubbles then. This shows where we're in active conversations to different degrees. From the very initial stages to an initial yes, this looks interesting, and so I've got active conversations with people like Compass, Compassion in Politics, Open Britain. I've also got a meeting lined up with Professor Slim, I think it's pronounced Karim. So he's a fellow at the Royal Society. He actually gave a speech yesterday, I think it was last night, about disinformation and how that's affecting science. So very pleased to have the opportunity to speak to him. It's actually a Faraday Award winning lecture that he gave last night. So that was that was very good. I'm actually really optimistic with all of these because, like I say, this is I see this as the low-hanging fruit for me. They already see this as an issue, so I'm trying to convince them that this is, extremely important. It shouldn't be too hard a push. So it's more about how we can help one another. And then the last group then are Full Fact and Ofcom. So I haven't had any engagement with these. I have tried to reach out to Full Fact. I haven't done anything on Ofcom at the minute. But both of these are basically on my radar. I'm targeting them. They are going to be absolutely crucial moving forward. I'm sure everyone's familiar with Ofcom, but Full Fact, if you're not, they are a independent, not-for-profit, I believe, organisation who do fact-checking, essentially, no political alignment. So kind of the thing that I'm trying to push forward, really. They're an embodiment of it. Okay, so if you've made it this far, thank you, and here's how you can help move this forward. First, subscribe. It's a small action, but it helps build momentum and it tells the algorithm that this matters. Second, liking and commenting on all the videos is crucial in growing this. But actually, on the comment section, this is probably where I have had most success in growing subscribers to the channel. On the videos, I have noticed people who have been active in their view that the media is biased and politicians lie, and they are very frustrated, but they do not really know, or they haven't identified a way to really push back against this and how to take action. So I've actually just commented on them and or I've replied to their comments and I've pointed them to my channel, and I believe this is how I've had the most success in growing subscribers. So if you do, I'm rate limited on what I can subscribe to or what I can not subscribe to, what I can comment on. So if you can help me out on that, that would be massively appreciated. If you see people who you identify that they are frustrated with this and they're more likely to subscribe and get behind this movement, please point them to this channel. Like I say, it's the one thing that's really driven subscribers here. So and yeah, so like and comment. Obviously the final one is spread it. So share this with people you trust, post it, talk about it. Truth only wins if enough people hear it. And final thoughts. I've been listening to a book lately called The Constitution of Knowledge, a defense of truth. So one of the key takeaways is from this book is that truth isn't something that just exists in the background. It's something we have to actively defend every day together. And it really struck me because as a society, we definitely don't believe in that. We have no idea, I don't think, how powerful truth is. To me, the more I look into this, the more I realise that truth is actually a keystone of democracy, and without that keystone, the whole thing will collapse. And I think probably more accurate, it's actually a shared truth is the keystone. There's a subtle difference between the two. So yeah, anyway, something to go away and read if that tickles your fancy. Ultimately, so if this resonates with you, help us grow. Please help us grow. Be part of something that might just tip the balance back in truth's favour. We've got to believe in this, and yeah, push forward. Okay, thank you very much for listening to me, and yeah, subscribe, share the channel. Thank you.